Hello, everybody. Sometimes it takes a minute for people to get on here. These clamps right here, man, will make a believer out of it when they turn and come off. Okay, what we're doing is a 1955 Chevrolet car seat. We're doing the back. This right here is actually the original. If you look at it, they did have some cool colors back then. That is turquoise. And this seat had like three covers on it. A lot of times people still do it, I think. But, you go into a shop and they would just throw you a cover on top of what you already had. They'd never take it off. They just try to do it as fast as they can. And seat covers was cheap back then. So what we're going to do is we took all of it down. We've replaced the foam on the bottom, on the front and the back seat. The backrest was in surprisingly good shape, and the backrest on the front seat was in really good shape. The bottom, not so much on the front and the back. But what we're going to do is we're going to take, we're going to take some of this seat apart or just use it for some measurements. He wanted it rolling pleated and black, and we're going to two-tone it with a two-tone black. This is what it's going to look like. Maybe you can tell from this right here. The sit-down part. The sit-down part is going to be a rougher grain, if you can tell. The rougher grain will be in the sit-down part. This part right here is going to be the trim. So this will be the pleated part right up here. It matches pretty close, I think. So I've already cut this out. I took this piece right here. I know it's kind of raggedy, but I laid it up there and just got an idea of the boxing that was on it. So that's what we're going to use, is this piece right here. You can take a piece of vinyl and lay it up there if you don't have it, and get a mark for it. Make your own. Alright, I ain't gonna put no I'm not gonna put any padding on that. It didn't come with none anyway. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna cut me a piece for the tail. This right here. Show them this. This is called the tail. From here down, it anchors to the spring. So I'm just going to cut me a piece of that. And whenever you're going to flip it over like this, you need to add a little bit to it. So you see right there on the ruler, I'm gonna add 1 inch. That's gonna be so I can put my wire back in here. So that's 1 inch. It comes up to 5, so I need to make it 5.5, because I got to have something to sew to this right here, like this. That tells you anything. You got to have a little bit to sew to it, so you got to leave that much allowance. So my piece needs to be, actually I think quite 5.5. It's about 5 and a quarter. So I'll make that piece 5.25. It needs to be 44.5 inches long. So I'm gonna come right here. And I'm gonna cut me off a piece 44.5 inches long. If you don't have a framing square, you can get a framing square and just make you one. Or you can buy one from any lumber supply place that's probably got some. If you got one longer, it's always better. That way you ain't got to lay a ruler on top of it like I just done. Alright, so I needed this 5.25. Alright, so there's my 5.25. You can wait after you sew that on to cut it off the 40. What was it, 44 inches, Wesley?
Yeah.
You don't have to cut it off right yet. You can wait. All right, and this piece right here, what was it the way he was wanting that? He wanted it to look like the Impala.
No, he wanted it to look like the Bel Air.
The Bel Air. Okay.
With the V in the back.
Yeah.
But the bottom didn't have anything. He wanted it rolling pleated. Or pleated.
The Bel Air. I wonder if it had a pleat in the middle of it like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, did it have a little divided section? I think the back seat would look better if it had a little bit of divide in it, wouldn't it? You know what I'm talking about? I think it would, if it had a little bit of a divide in it.
We can think on that while we're doing the bottom.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that in my in the thought process why we're doing this right here. Okay, so this piece here, and you see it had probably wasn't wrinkled whenever it was first done. They didn't let's look at that. All right, so they did have a piece right here. Look, where it goes around that loop, they did sew a piece in here. I was wondering about that. That's where I got too close to the wire brush. This vinyl is hard as a rock. hog ring in there. Just trying to get this pattern off right here. I did sharpen my knife. Just oil now. When you're working on seats, there's so much dirt, like this dirt that's in these seats, it'll dull your knife real quick. So that's a constant effort to try to keep one sharp. All right, so this piece right here, I'm thinking that it's straight. So whenever you sew it on, it gives that, it comes out this way. This, if you sew it on, see it's flat. I mean, that's curved. So if you sew this on and it's straight, it's gonna.
Good morning, Jane.
We got our blocks. Where's we put them up?
They're put up.
Okay. What's that?
The big green one's beside you, but I can get the little one.
We're just gonna lay this down just a little bit. I already know about the shape, but I'm just doing this for the show. That way, whenever you're doing it, you will know what your pattern looks like. But really and truly, man, this thing stinks. You smell it? I mean, not like ratty or nothing. It's like old car smell. See how it lays down flat? And it was straight instead of a curve. And that gives you the slack that you're gonna need, because it's real close on that where that hump comes in. Hey y'all, when we're making patterns, we do this a lot. We heat stuff up and get that pattern out of it. More than you know. Okay, so we got it straight. If you're not going to sew that loop on there, you can just leave it a little longer and then fold that loop back over. Like I'm fitting to do. All right, there's my piece. Make both sides exactly the same. Whenever you get halfway, just take your piece just like this right here, fold it halfway, and now you got the piece that looks exactly like this side on both sides. Okay, that's my piece. So I'm gonna take this right here. I'm gonna fold it over like this. I might go ahead and do that, and that way I ain't got to do it. It really don't matter. I got this brown looking thread in here, but it really don't matter because this is just a loop that's not really seen. been sewing leather with this sewing machine, and I actually got a leather needle in there for sewing leather, and it's a little bit different than a regular needle, and I'll show you that. A regular needle's just got a point on it. One for sewing leather has got like a knife edge on it. Like if you're sewing through 3 or 4 pieces of leather, I'm gonna show you this. Sometimes when you're sewing leather, a pointed needle seems like it just won't cut through it. So I'm gonna show you this right here, if it'll zoom in. All right, you see that needle right there? You see how it's designed? Like that. It's got like a knife edge on it. That is for sewing leather. And it does make a very, very big difference. And you can believe that. Or you might make a mistake whenever you're sewing leather trying to keep that line straight. Wesley is at 3:15 this afternoon.
She's in the United She's in the United Kingdom.
Okay. All right. So anyway, whenever you're sewing leather, hey, we get our leathers from North Carolina. That right there, believe it or not, friends, that right there can make a very, very big difference. And I ordered some needles, but they haven't came in yet. So I'm having to use this needle. We use this needle here. This right here, let me show you what some thick leather will do. This right here is what some thick leather will do to your standard needle. Okay? I was sewing some leather on a motorcycle seat, and this right here is what it'll do. You see that? See how it bent that needle? And that right there, if I tried to straighten it, it would probably break it. But you can tell that right there ain't gonna work no more. So, to let you know, the right tools make all the difference. This right here was a pack of I think it was like 100 right here. All right. This right here is the this right here, I got a 206 RB. That's the size needle that I use for my 206 RB. If you can see that. That lets you know how many needles I broke. There was 100 in there. Did somebody come out here and get a couple of needles from me one time, Wesley? I can't remember. I'm thinking that they did. So anyway, let's get back to the fixing of the seat. How long is that right there, Wesley? That seat looks pretty long. Whew, that is wide. That right there is a piece that's got to go
a long way
down the road. So man, I still smell that piece with you good. old shoes instead of old car. Weston done measured that off for me. That's 60.
No, it's longer. It's go to the top.
It's longer at one end, ain't it?
Yeah.
63. We just make it 64, not trim it. 64 by, man, that is, okay, 10 and a half. 10 and a half. Let's make it 11 and a half. That'll give me that extra inch that I need on the bottom. Flip that over. I've seen some guys online that use a different type marker than what I use. And they say it's real good. What did I say that was? 64. It looks like it gets wider at the bottom of the seat, like it's at an angle. My dog out there barking. We're gonna mark it in the center. That way we know where we're at. Okay, so this is the boxing. Back in the day, it looks like they didn't have a whole lot of boxing like that. What about the back seat, Wes? Where's the cover for that?
It's over there in the floor.
While Wesley's getting that back seat, we're gonna cut the boxing off of it. I'm gonna put my dog good. I had to put my dog on the chain. I don't want him to get ran over. Alright, so we'll heat this right here up just a little bit. And like I said, we do this a lot, especially on a lot of this old stuff, just to get an idea of a pattern. Sometimes it's distorted so bad that you can't get no kind of idea out of it. I can assure you this is hard. Which it's softening up now, you know, because I'm putting this heat on it. But it's just like ironing it out. You know, I think about this often about some of this real old stuff that we've done. People have put their initials on it and stuff like that, and then just wonder who they were. You know, like they're gone now. But this thing was made in 1955. But on a 1955 assembly line, what was that like back in the 50s?
And before you cut that, don't we have a piece that's left over you can get it out of?
I do, but I was wondering if I was gonna save that right there.
No, that's the piece for the bottom.
Yeah, that's the box.
But there was a smaller piece.
I might can get it out, both pieces out of this. So you got an idea of what the pattern's like. All right, so you need to make this piece right here a little bit longer unless you're gonna sew that listing on there. And I'm not. I'm just gonna make it a little longer. So that piece will fold over to right here. All right, you need the opposite. So this is your opposite right here. We're gonna come just like this. Show them the pieces that we done yesterday, Wesley. These pieces were covered with Dacron and they were glued on and they were really sticky, rusty, real bad. So we worked on these pieces yesterday. That's your trim that goes on the front seat. we polished that chrome. It was full of scratches, and we polished a lot of the scratches and stuff out of it. It seems like the fine detail work is what makes the job really pop when you're finished. Okay, so there's our strips for the back seat. It goes on the sides. The top.
What about the
piece that goes around the bottom?
Yeah, it's 3 pieces on it.
Mm-hmm. Let's look at this. This piece right here. It actually looks like it's got a little bit of a curve to it. So instead of taking and trying to undo this, it's easier just to take and cut it apart like this.
Mike Daniel says hello.
Hello, Mike. I wish I could be a better teacher, Mike, or I would have probably taught more people how to do this type of work. I wish that it was. I wish it was a manual on really how to show somebody else how to do it. But if you can watch and learn, I might miss some. I'm so used to doing this work that I might miss telling you something that you might be interested in. So,
Green
and I might not think nothing about it because it just comes like second nature. I've done it for a while, and we're just taking heat these up like this. We got a bunch of these blocks laying around here that's real heavy, and we put them on here and just make it easier to trace the patterns. That's all it does. So it don't take but just a second for it to lay down and cool off. Then you can go again. Just like that. I'm thinking that's got a little bit of curve to it. It could be straight and it curved when they put it on the seat. I'm going to look at it and tell. I'm going to make a determination real quick. If it had a. Once you put the ruler to it. It did have a little bit of curve to it because this listing right here is all the way on the edge, and it did have a little bit of curve to the back seat. So I am going to put it back in. I'm going to give myself a little bit of slack right here to sew a loop. And now, just like this.
Philip Hall says he appreciates the videos. He's learning stuff.
Like I said, if you can watch and learn, you're ahead of me most of the time, because I miss things sometimes. You know, when you're learning, you're trying to figure it out, but
One day we'll be smart enough to learn how to edit these, and they won't be so long.
yeah, I'm not smart enough to edit. If you're doing this type of work, you need to know about how long it's going to take you to do the job, you know, so it can, you want both sides just alike, so you need to either fold it over or something, because that pattern sure is not exactly the same on both sides. But I'm gonna make this one right here just right on both sides. So. I can promise you, everybody don't do upholstery the same. Not everybody. You know, I've heard people say, "Hey, I've been doing this 50 years." That don't necessarily make you good. Just because you've been doing it 50 years. The fine detail work is what makes you good. Okay, so we got this piece right here done. That goes on the back rest. Stick that right there. We're gonna come right here. We're gonna cut this edge off. Pull it back with. So we're
You've done that
okay.
edge.
So we done that. So I'm getting ahead of myself.
This is down here. You need to measure and do the.
This piece right here, I can look at it and tell it's straight. Right here, where it's got that curve right in here, I can just tell that right there was a straight piece. And they had the boxing come in here. They did that right there from here to here because that piece right there was showing a little bit. And if it was showing, then they didn't want this part right here to be showing. That's why they put it down there. How long is that piece there, Wesley? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this piece right here, one piece, all the way down. This right here is the part that I was talking about. He wanted this Bel Air piece, the V put back in it. We can go all the way across like this, but you know, the front seats, what we could do the front seat the same way. What would be the best way? You know, we're trying to achieve a good look, so that's what we're trying to do, is achieve a good look for this right here. This part's going to be pleated. This part right here is going to be smooth. So this part is going to be cut out of this, or this part, if it's just pleated all the way across, it'd be easier, wouldn't it? Well, it wouldn't be no harder to do it the other way. So we're going to
say all he wanted that V shape that come from the 57, the Bel Air.
That's all he wanted really was this V. So we're going to come right here and we're going to give it to him.
He liked that design.
Yeah. So we're going to come right in here. This is the original seat cover. So you've ever went to a junkyard and you seen one of these cars sitting there in the junkyard, it's got cotton just blowing out the top of it where it's been baked in the sun, but this thing had 3 covers on it and it protected it. So that's the only way we're able to cut this right here apart and get us a pattern out of it. And believe it or not, it ain't a bad pattern. All right, so this is the part we're gonna make out of this. I'm gonna pull that over a little closer. All right, you see me cutting it. You see the way I'm cutting it right here. I'm cutting this pattern out, and this is face up. You know, the material's face down, but both sides are just alike. That side over there, this side of the seat's the same as this side of the seat. So it don't matter that I'm tracing it out this way. But a lot of patterns that you cut out can't be traced out this way because you'll have the opposite then. You got to remember if both sides are alike or both sides are not. You'll be able to cut out 2 or 3 pieces that are just alike. All right, you notice when I trace this out, I'm dragging my fingers, not that marker. So, drag my hand. That's how I can draw such a straight line. And I'll take and fold this over whenever I get this cut out and see how good my pattern is on both sides. All right. These patterns could be stretched just a little bit, but we're gonna find out whenever I fold it halfway and get my halfway point, we'll know. All right, here's the tail. The tail. This a tail to tail on it. Of how close it's gonna be. All right, what's that? What's that? We're gonna come in here and get halfway. That way we know kind of where we're at. And if you look at this right here, you can tell that this is a little bit different right in there. I'm just straightening this pattern up. So I will have to flip it over on the other side. All right, so we're still halfway. The V come out just right, so that's good. It's a little bit big right here. There's my V. That much has got to come off. I don't know for sure if I want to take that right there off yet. I might want to wait until I get it on the seat and see how much of it I need to cut off. I don't want to cut off and be too short on the length. Okay, there we go. Now we got us a pattern. I know you might think, well, is that much gonna make a difference? But that much can make a difference. If you was in furniture, you could fold it and probably get away with it. But whenever you're doing cars, you got to be a little bit closer than furniture work. So at that point, you need to just kind of figure out that you need to, it needs to be close. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to cut this piece off. Take and get this roll out of the way. I'm gonna roll this other little piece right here up, and I'm gonna have to go back to this and cut out some pieces, probably for the edge a little bit, not much. Here's our other piece. We're gonna roll this out to, what was that, 64 inches. Man, that was cold or something on it. Always inspect your material because you don't want to put something on there that's gonna be showing. gonna try to show y'all what I'm looking at. All right. See if you can see it. You see them lines right here? It's going across this material right here. Right here, right here. You see them lines? Is that where it's been folded, Wesley, or what? You see that line right here?
It kind of less defined from here back this way. That's more defined.
Yeah. Even after I fold it, you know what I mean? Even after I lay it down and even put a little heat on it, it's still, you can still see it.
I think you have to come down here and start.
Yeah.
Do away with that end. Maybe use it somewhere else.
Yeah. It don't look that bad here. But down here, that's pretty bad. Okay. Maybe what, right about here, maybe.
That's the last defined one to me.
Right here.
Well, actually, I can see this one.
All right. It ain't no money, y'all. If I send it back, how long is it gonna take me to, you know? We could still put it on a 4-wheeler seat or something like that. Okay.
Put it in that tube back there.
We put all our little short pieces. We got some trash cans back there. We put it in, stand it up. Most of the times they give you a little piece of paper that says always inspect the material because they sure won't. They'll send it right on out the door most times. I'm thinking it was what, 64?
That one was. Now this one's small.
Yeah. Go down that end. Just say it's 64. We're gonna make it 60. What about 66 maybe? Nope. 64. Let's make it about 60.
And the reason why you're doing that is the pleats.
The pleats will draw it up. I'm gonna make it 67. The pleats will draw it up a little bit, and I can always trim it off. But it's impossible to add more to it unless you cut it in the middle and put a piece there. So, and I wasn't gonna do that. I was gonna go all the way across. Kind of make it more like the original. could have cut that off, I guess. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna come right here. We're gonna measure that. That is about 18, looks like. Okay. So we're gonna leave a little bit hanging over, maybe an inch. We're gonna come right here, and that's 17 and a half. So we're gonna come right here. We're gonna measure this off 17 and a half. Now this bottom that we got to measure off is going to be a little longer. I mean, I could sew it all one length, but it seems like it's just harder to handle that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this piece off, and I'm going to just sew them separate. Oh, where'd I put my 17 and a half? Oh, I can't see it. It's right there on it. Maybe I need a piece of chalk. Let's turn it over back. Alright, 17 and a half. 17 and a half. How much is that one? I will foam all this right here first before I cut it off. It's just easier to do it that way. 3. How many people we got watching?
10.
10. How many of you people watch Hodges After Dark? Y'all ever watch Hodges After Dark? Do y'all know who that is? Anybody know? Nobody? He's the one that actually got me started doing videos.
Philip said he hadn't heard of that one.
Yeah, he told me I needed to start making videos a long time ago. A really long time ago. And that's the reason my first videos actually look good, because he's real good at that. And the rest of my videos is like this. They're not that good, are they, Wesley? So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the foam, lay it up here. We're gonna glue this right here, and then fold it, cut it out, and that way I ain't got to glue one piece, glue the next piece, because time is I could be going a whole lot faster, y'all, but I want to try to explain it a little bit as I can for this video.
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'll tell you what, that is a long ride from Byron, Georgia.
It is, ain't it?
I living here, working at the base for what, 10, 15 years. I drove back and forth every day.
So you live in Byron?
Yes, sir.
I thought you lived down there in where was that?
I lived off 29 down in there next to Union Baptist.
I thought it was down below east.
Oh, no. I ain't never been there.
You ain't been.
Man, that's one place I ain't never been. Yeah, I lived up there off 29 for, oh my God, 92.
Yeah.
About, 1992 when I was married to Amy.
Get him a Corvette 60 West. Have you called them? They said they'd take them back and everything.
Well, I bought it from Amazon, which goes through this company. So I was tomorrow was the last day. You don't get 30-day return notice.
Yeah.
And I went in there and looked. I thought, oh my God, 27th. That's tomorrow. And so I got it. I went ahead and put it on. Let me talk to my son here just for a second. What's up, sucker? I ain't doing a whole lot of nothing. Are you? All right, I'll be right here. I'm inside the shop. I know, 2 minutes. All right. You got a minute? I wanted to show you. I got some. I don't want to sit down or have to sit down, but I got to set the door panels out there for that Corvette too.
Oh yeah.
It's got a pad on it. It's got the carpet pad and a mat pad on it. But I don't want that mess on it no more. I just want a straight cover.
Oh yeah.
I got 2 sets. One of them was the original. They ain't worth nothing.
What year model is that?
That's 79.
79.
The same as this.
Yeah.
If you'll take a look and tell me what it'd cost me, there's a little Mexican woman up in McRae that said she'd do it.
Yeah.
And
She's a crayon.
yeah, Lord, I got to go up there to pick up a flipping what is it? Bill of sale. I bought a Mustang from Tom. What Tom's last name? He's got a shop right there in the middle of town, right next to that lady that does this upholstery. But
I need to give her a job. Is she good?
I don't know. Tom says she was. I mean, But shoot, I don't have a clue. I don't know. I know you do good work. I prefer you to do it, but I'm just afraid. I'm just afraid of what it's going to cost me.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
you
it's
know
just,
that thing, the cover on it is stapled on
right.
a Corvette like that.
Yep.
And a lot of times that board is made out of an expanded type of, it ain't plastic, but it's like
It's junk. It's like it's Chevrolet.
they crack real bad.
It's the junk they put on. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
And if I don't want to have to buy new ones. They $400 a piece, and I ain't.
I've done a bunch of them, but
If you can glue it on there, don't care what it looks like.
I do.
Well, I mean, yeah, your name.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, your name's attributed to that. I wouldn't badmouth. I wouldn't badmouth you that way.
By the time the sweetness of the price is gone, you know what I mean? Customers look at that and say, "Oh my God, hey man, he did that. I can't believe they did that."
That's sorry we are.
Yeah. So you know you can't that if you ever let.
Well, I trust your work.
I done that years.
Oh,
Golly, a guy come up here. It was like 40 years ago, and he said, "Hey man, I got this door handles. I want you to cover." And I said, I covered them for him, and I said, "Hey man, I'm not gonna charge you for them. They really don't look that great." And that joker man rode around, and I believe he showed everybody.
No.
He showed everybody, and I didn't charge him for them, but that bit me in the tail.
Yeah.
And I learned early on.
Yeah.
Don't let that.
Well, it's like automobile work. I
Just
do
go
now.
ahead and just redo it. If you're gonna do it, just redo it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I understand. I give 79 Corvette ain't worth nothing. I mean, 79 and I think 79 was the last one. 79 to 80 model was the
Man,
last
I got
one.
73. I see.
Golly. I
Yeah.
can't. I bet.
It
wanna look
ain't
at this?
that bad.
Yeah, Lord, I need to sit down.
I'll be right back. Wesley's gonna cut this out for me.
You want me to cut both pieces, or you want to leave it large?
Cut it, cut both.
What motor you got in?
It's got 350 in it.
Thank you, Philip. I'm learning. My biggest problem is when I'm cutting foam like that is keep scissors straight where you don't put a edge on it when you cut it. But I'm trying to learn. I'm a slow learner.
Got to cut out.
Mm-hmm.
That jam up. You know what I should have done before we cut it out? Yes. I mean, we can still do it.
Well, you should have measured your pleats
Yeah.
where they'd be the same.
Cut the pleats. Draw the pleats. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just cut that right here. Yeah, that's where you cut it out. That guy had a lady that was gonna do his door panels for $100 a piece. Can you believe that?
That's what he's looking for. He needs to,
I can't believe that.
and he thought $400 for a new one was bad. I mean, I thought that was reasonable for what things cost today.
You see what I'm saying? One more. Right here. Alright, always come in here in the middle. That's supposed to be what, 60, 67. So
33 and a half.
yeah.
Hey, my brain was working.
Alright, 33 and a half.
Jay Demo, I hope I'm saying that right. Ask a question.
What kind of question?
They're making a tire cover, but they want to know what the tire cover material is called instead of just regular vinyl when they order it. What is?
You know, I got hundreds of yards of that stuff in
I'm
black.
yeah.
It's
I mean, I don't know what a supplier would call it.
Yeah.
That's what he's asking. You know,
it's got
what
a
is,
fleece on the back of it. It's thick. You want black? Are you looking for black? Or what color are you looking for?
he wants to know if it's Landau.
Landau is more of a top, like a Landau top. Hold on. Where's my phone? I can find out.
Bear with us. We'll find out your information for you. Oh, you're fine. We appreciate the questions.
Yeah, this ain't no problem.
Maybe somebody else is thinking of, that may need the information. I know you're kind of eyeballing that, but what? How?
That's a half inch apart.
Okay.
That's all. We're gonna come in here and put 2-inch pleats in it. Hey man, what do you call that material that's got the fleece on it that you make tire covers out of? Well, no, but I mean it's kind of thick. It's the thick fleece. Yeah. You talking to Larry? Ask Larry what it's called. You gotta know what it's called if y'all in the business. Hey Larry, doing good. I got a question for you. What is that tanu type stuff that's got the fleece on the back of it? What's the name of it? It's for tire covers. Yeah, but this has got the fleece on it, for tire covers. You see? What do y'all call it? What's the name of it? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. Y'all want to buy some? I got a bunch of it. Do y'all want to buy some of it? Y'all don't? Y'all wouldn't have a call for it because y'all don't know what the name of it is. Ain't that right? All right. So y'all just call it tanu? Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Well, that's what we're looking for was the name of it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
That was one of the suppliers right there that we use, and he don't even know. So I call it tanu. Tanu is what they make the covers for the bed covers. You know, they made a bed cover out of it, like with the little ribs on it, and they put the snaps around the back body of the truck. So that's what I call it. But I don't think that the tire cover stuff is actually called Tanu. Hey, I got a bunch of it if you want me to send you some. Enough to make a tire cover. Just put your address in the comment, and I'll cut you some off. Send it to you. I'll tell you how much shipping is on it. And there we go. That's our lines right there. That's what we're gonna sew up. Then we'll go from there to sewing the boxing and stuff on it. Ain't this kind of boring doing something like this?
He says he has several to make.
Several?
Yeah.
Hey, I got hundreds of yards of it. I'll send you a row. I bought this stuff from a supplier, and this supplier bought a factory out that made tire covers. That's what they did. Ain't some of it got two different like patterns to it, Wes? I ain't gonna go down that far.
What you mean? What are we talking about? This seat? Or are we talking about?
No,
tire cover?
That tire cover. You seen that material that I had over there?
Mm-hmm.
All that in them drums.
He said he started buying from Keyston Brothers.
Yeah, I haven't bought from Keyston in a while. That's them big needles for contrast thread. Show them that right there, Wes. This right here will fit in a 206 RB. That's for sewing that big contrast thread. Check that out. Yeah, that thing's like a nail. For real.
Well, I can't get it to.
Can't get it to focus.
Yeah, it won't focus on. Wait. There we go. It finally focused a little bit. But that's for the contrast, the big thick thread.
That is like. Yeah.
Jay said he appreciates you calling and trying to find out the information for him.
For real, I got a bunch of that tire cover stuff. I bought that stuff from Bob down at Brightech.
What about the black on top?
Show them the difference in that contrast thread right here, Weston.
There's right you go.
There's a piece of contrast, and there's a piece of just regular thread.
Bear with me. I'm trying to lay it out on.
Hey, it's a lot bigger now. For real.
Maybe you could tell the difference.
It's a big difference in the thread and the size. The thing is if you take and put that contrast thread on the bottom in the bobbin, it does not look the same. It don't that bottom bobbin won't hold that. It can really make a mess if you put that in that bottom bobbin. I bought a whole bunch of these. A friend of mine had them, and he was an upholstery supplier. He passed and handed it down to his wife, but he sold me a lot of these bobbins. They're big bobbins, but I take them and I put them on this little stand that I made right here, and I wind them. I rewind them onto a metal case bobbin. That way, I can wind. It'll wind about 1.5 bobbins out of one of them bobbins over here, and I can wind them as I sew. Normally, I keep several. I just sit here and wind up several. All right, so I'm ready to sew these lines. Just a second. I used to could thread this a whole lot quicker, but as you get older, your eyesight. I had somebody sitting at my sewing machine the other day, and honestly, they was just tinkering, and I didn't know it. They was just tinkering around over here, and they unscrewed this screw right here off, and whenever they did, it turned this tensioner, so it wasn't holding the thread, and they screwed it back on backwards. They screwed it on. It was real shiny on one side, and I pretty much know who did it, but I ain't questioning them about it yet. But it actually made me
messed up some leather and then bent the needle.
Yeah, it caused it to bend that needle right there, but it busted up. I mean, it messed up some thread, didn't it, Wesley?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I don't usually use 3M oil, but that 3-in-1 right there was free, so I'm using it. Damn, this thing looks like it's been riding in the back of the truck with all that stuff on it, don't it? This part right here, If I had a long arm sewing machine, this would be easier. But being as I don't, whenever I get halfway, I'm gonna have to turn it around. But because I can't fold it and put the whole thing up under here. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna see what that looks like because I do have a different needle in there. That looks fine. That looks good. I just need to check before I get all the way across to the other side. It don't take long to sew this right here up. What you want to do is make sure that you just keep it on the line. Ranga Weston will show them exactly how it looks like just to sew that line. It's not hard. All right, all we're gonna do is line it up. You see I'm rolling that up. See? Good straight line right there. Sometimes the slower you go, the crookeder your line is. If you go fast, it's just smooth.
What's the difference between nylon and polyester thread?
All right, that's a poly thread right there, and it's a bonded thread. I don't know about the nylon part. I used to use a thread called Namo. That's a nylon thread. I don't know. That's a bonded thread, so that means that it's not going to unravel. So I had some thread here the other day that was rotten, wasn't it, Wes?
And then you also can get the UV treated, right?
Yeah. Now the UV treated, that's what we use on a lot of four-wheelers and boats and anything that's going to be outside, like a golf cart. You know, but a lot of threads has got a little bit of UV treatment to it anyway. So I think it's got to, because if not, it's going to it ain't gonna last no time. You know, 'cause cars do get in the sun, but it ain't like being out in the weather like a boat. When these lines are farther apart, the straightness of them ain't as critical as, I mean, you want it straight, but I mean, it shows up a lot closer whenever they're closer together, like these two right here, like these two lines. If they're not really straight, it does show up. When you're sewing a line like that, you can take the edge of that foot and look at that line that's beside it and gauge how far it is when you first start, and then you can just go all the way down and just gauge it. Okay, so we got that much right there done. You see, it don't look too bad, and we're gonna take and cut that V in there and make that. I could take and put one on this side right here, but I ain't. Like a double line.
Would the nylon thread be stronger than polyester?
I don't know. Nylon is pretty strong. You know, check this out. You see this? That right there. Damn. I didn't know it was that strong. Hold on. Hey. Doggone. Can I break it? I know I can break it, but I mean, I want that to. This tells you right here, it's pretty doggone strong. Okay, it broke down. Really, what happened was the edge of them scissors right there cut it. So, but you seen it was pretty doggone strong. Damn, I can't do it like that by hand very easy without it cutting into my fingers. Hey, that's strong. I don't know how many pounds it'll take. And that don't, well, here's the name of it right here. That is, that's Namo. I don't know if that's got nylon in it or what, but that is some pretty good thread, I think. So it's strong. Wesley can tell you, the other day whenever we was doing, I had sewed some stuff, and then I started checking the thread.
Oh, that was on the blue seat.
Man, it would just snap. We had to take every bit of it back out. Which I hadn't sewed much, so what we done was I had to line the needle back up and sew in the exact same holes. That up, you know, where the other thread was, so it wouldn't. So you couldn't tell that I had took it out. That was a pain, wasn't it, Wes?
At least we discovered it before we put the seat together.
If I'd have put that seat together with that thread, that bad thread in it, it wouldn't have lasted no time. They'd have been back. And they'd have really, really been upset. I can't blame them. But. I've been in a factory where they're sewing this up. Like sewing it here, and they got them needles like here and here and here and here and here. It's a bunch of sews a whole big sheet at the time.
Jay wants to know if you always put the 1/2 inch sew foam on it or you use quarter on it.
Sometimes we use quarter, that's according to what it is, but most of the time we don't never pleat nothing with a 1/4 inch. Because you defeating the purpose, it's not even gonna show up. All it's gonna do is just put a stitch mark in it, showing some stitching, but it's not gonna be thick enough to
The 1/2 inch gives it more definition.
yeah. We done that motorcycle seat. Was it day before
Monday.
yesterday? Monday? Man, that thing. We done it in leather. It looked real good, and it was a 1/2 inch. And the pleat that was in it before was in a thinner foam, and it didn't show up like it did whenever we done it in this 1/2 inch. Let me check this bobbin. We got enough, I believe. You don't ever want to run out halfway. If you don't glue this real good, when you turn it around and you sew it from this way to this way, because you know this way I'm sewing it this way, and this way I was sewing it this way. So if you don't glue it good, like if you leave it loose, when you turn it one way or the other, it can actually make this wrinkle.
You twist it.
Yeah. You know what you got to do then? Start over. Or either cut it apart in between here and here and put a seam in it. All right. So there's our pleats. They're, really straight. They look good. So which one was this one, Wes? The bottom? Yeah, this was the bottom. So that's what it's going to look like. I think it's going to look pretty good. Now we'll get that other piece. Bring it over here. And this right here was for the backrest. So it won't take long to sew it because it's so short.
Change your bobbin.
I'm going to. see how much I got. I know I got a little bit, not much.
There's more on it than it looked.
Yeah, I could have kept on going for just a little bit. What time we got, Wes?
11:54.
I just took a little piece of cold roll, bent it, and made me a little stand to put them bobbins on. Yeah, I wish they was just a little bit bigger because they would wind too. It just takes a little while to get all the way across, y'all. Oh, shit. There we go. Here we go. That's what we was afraid of. Running out. That's the reason that whole bobbin. This is what you have to do. You pull it back. You see I'm pulling the thread out. And I'm pulling it back. Okay. I got me enough to tie it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and tie this right here. Just like that. Tying it down. Three times enough. Cut it off. Come right in here. Take my new bobbin. Take my new bobbin. I hate when it does that. That ain't rolling smooth. All right. You see that thread right there that was knotted up? I just pulled it out. This does have to come out smooth. I could tell whenever I was pulling it that it wasn't just right. It would have caused some trouble. That does have to pull even tension, smooth. It don't have a whole lot of tension on it. Alright, so now I'm gonna have to start back here and I'm gonna line up the stitch holes. It's not hard to do, it's just aggravating to do it. Okay, I'm right back in the same stitch hole. So, I got to come right here, pull this up. And tie it. And there you go. You can't tell where it was run out at. But it's aggravating that to do it because I could have done sewed this thing up if I'd have just took time to look at that bobbin one more time. All right. So we're down here to the nitty gritty. I got 3 more lines to sew. Here we go. I always trim these threads. You don't have to because you're going to trim it anyway, but okay, so there we go. And we'll take this piece and we're gonna line up that B piece right here. This from 1955. Who would have ever thought they'd be using this right here, Wesley?
Who would have thought we'd still have enough there to make a pattern out of?
Yeah. Okay. So there we go. Check that out. Back in the day, they even made that side piece right there match. Even on the sides. See? They went all the way over to the side to where it wouldn't look like this piece all the way down. Hey, they was thinking out of the box. All right, there's my center mark. I'm gonna line that up just like that. That side hasn't been cut off, so I'm gonna use this side for my pattern when I fold it. All right, got my 1/2 inch right here. So I'm gonna come just like this. I'm gonna come just like this. This cover did fit good, did it? It looked good, didn't it?
Oh, that one, was tight. The other ones were
Did it
ragged.
look good?
Well, I mean, it fit the foam and all good, but the other two that was on it were kind of raggedy and bigger and.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna sew a little bag on this. I'm gonna cut some of this right here off because I'm not gonna fold this real thickness over right here. So I am gonna sew. I'm gonna come here and I'm just gonna cut this off like that. Same as, well, I'm gonna fold it and get my pattern, but right here, I was gonna do it. I was gonna do it a little different. But I'm gonna come right here. And I'm gonna sew me just a little bag on it. Because both sides is the same. You can look at the pattern right there and tell that line ain't really straight. So I'm gonna come right here and I'm gonna make it straight. It could, over that many years, it could have shrank or anything. So you can tell that the line is that far off. That's my line. That's the one that was there. So I'm going to put my line on here. I'm going to straighten it up a little bit. So there's my pattern. This side is my pattern. So I'm gonna fold it right over here. Like this. And that's my pattern for the other side. And there's my pattern for the other side, just like that. And there's our 1955 Bel Air whiskey.
Yeah, that's what he called the pattern, was the Bel Air pattern. I don't think his car's a Bel Air, but he wanted that pattern.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen the car, so I don't know exactly.
Yeah, y'all don't have to do this, but I usually do it. It just kind of locks the threads in. I don't want the threads to be coming loose where I cut them. So I usually sew around it. It's not a bad idea to do that. But you don't want to stitch. You don't want your stitching coming loose. I'm thinking that light right there used to be a lot brighter. Okay. So now, whenever I sew it, it ain't gonna have the stitching coming loose on the edges because it locks it in a little bit tighter. Where's our other piece of whiskey? Cut out. We didn't even glue no foam on it, did we?
That's this one that you're looking for, ain't it?
No, I'm looking for, that's the top piece there. I'm looking for the B piece that went right here.
Right here.
That's it? Yeah, okay. We didn't even glue no pad on it. I'm not sure if it had any, but we're gonna glue some on it. It won't look right if we don't glue any on it, that's for sure. this right here, when you spray and you folding it over like that, it's a good idea to put your piece right behind there, because if you don't, it'll get back on that piece of vinyl, and then you had to try to worry about getting it off. Is there anybody that's watching that's actually in the business of doing that? Is there anybody that's doing that? Nobody? There are some that tune in that's in this business. Get that little bit of glue off. Sometimes we save pieces that's about that size because we fix a lot of truck seats out here, and we can use these pieces before we cut it off the roll. Unless we get a whole bunch of it, then we might toss some of it. Alright, so there's our piece. This right here. He called that a Bel Air design, didn't he?
That's, the pattern he called it. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we had an embroidery machine. We could put script Bel Air or something on there.
Like I say, I ain't seen his car, so I don't even. I mean, I'm just going by what he has mentioned.
According to the rest of the seats, whenever he brought them out here, this is gonna look a whole lot better. A whole lot better than what he brought out here. And I don't even know if he had these seats in there. Do you?
No, he would. Well, yeah, the back seat was there, but now the front seat's the one he had to go by.
Yeah. I bet these. I don't think they remake these 55 Chevrolet seats anymore. I don't think you can buy the whole seat. I think you had to get one and just deal with it.
Somebody don't make some pre-made covers just to.
They make the covers, but they don't make the seat frame.
Right. The foundation ain't made.
Alright. I'm thinking that would look better if it had a bead in it. What you think? We got any black original welt?
We have to make some. I don't have black. It's down here in the 2 drawers.
It'd be better if it made out something like this with.
What about that?
Is that a long piece?
I don't know how long.
That's pretty long, man. That would work. That'll work.
I don't reckon that was a pattern for something, was it?
Because we was just gonna put that on the sit down part, that rough grain. Alright, so what we'll do is make us a strip. It's better if it don't have no it don't have no seams in it. I don't know if that right there's long enough, Wes. I can put it together, but I don't want to. Look.
I think it's gonna be just long enough.
Man, that's jam up. That's gonna be just right. Ain't that crazy? We might do some of that. There's some leaves. That ain't enough. This is called welt cord. All y'all that don't know. It's like a little 1/8 rod. We're gonna take and make a piece of welt cord to go in the seat. I may have to put some on another one. I might just go and get another piece off. Near the bottom. What you do is you just put it halfway like this. And that foot right there is made to take that piece of welt in it like this. See how it's right in there right next to the needle? So this kind of holds it in place a little bit. So
the welt cord is more like
they used
sponge
to use
cord or something. It's not.
It's a sponge rod. Not a sponge rod. The sponge rod is what they use on the edge of the doors and stuff. It's a 1/2 inch. But this right here, once you sew it, what you do is you take and you fold this right here over the edge like this, like this, like this, as you go. A lot of people like their sewing machine turned down real low where they can do it like that. So, because it gives you time, but if you get good at it, you can sew it like this right here. and it don't take you near the time to get it done. Now a lot of times you'll need to take this right here and cut it just like this right here.
Relief cut.
Yeah. If you put some relief cuts in it, like this, it won't have that to where it's like buckled, pushing up in the seat. That's the reason the original welt has cuts all the way down it, and they're about about a quarter of an inch apart.
Welt cord, is it? What would you consider, a soft plastic or a
It's a hard plastic.
hard plastic for the welt cord?
I got a bunch of it, but I don't have all the colors anymore. But I did buy a bunch over the years. And then cars quit doing it. They started putting a top stitch on it and did away with the welt cord. Things, change and it gets obsolete. I'm gonna put it on this piece right here first. See, I wanted that to match this piece right here, and that's the kind of vinyl this is. It matches. So we're gonna come right here, just like this. No, we're gonna come right down. And that's a point, so we're gonna turn it. So we don't need that. I'm gonna come right in here. Put a little bit of a relief cut in here. I want that to lay down. That's gonna look pretty good, ain't it?
Yeah.
Does it go all the way to the edge? Not quite, does it? That one does. Wait, I need to move it over.
Split difference.
How's that? That's about right. Maybe a ½ inch off over here. Oh, so that's where it showed up right there anyway. You could take and mark this on the back side. Come on. You gotta say G House. Ain't that what they do to a mule to make the mule go in the right direction? Or does G go to the left? Come on. So it was a 1/2 inch on the other side. It's like a maybe 1/2 inch post on this side. So we're gonna look at this right here. This is the important part. We got to look at this and see what it's gonna look like whenever I get to this V. And you can see right there, I got to go back and I'm gonna catch it a little bit more and I'm gonna pull that right there back in. Right in there. I'm gonna pull it. I don't think G-House got it, did it?
Whoa, back and gee, and come on. That's some of the things for a mule, I reckon.
Yeah. I know y'all can't see my fingers, but hey, I'm getting there. I'm trying to find the bead. It's hard to feel it up under there. Oh shit. Thread broke. I don't know where it broke at though. It must have broke back over there. Yeah, it must have broke at the start. I pulled out or something. Here we go. I'm gonna have to steam this crap and make it look right. All right, here we go. I got my thumb on this side of the bead right here. It's where I know where it's at. Sewing into a bead is a real big no-no. Because it really, that could make me have to take this apart. If I sewed into that bead, that could be bad. Let's look. All right, it looks better right here, but I got to catch it a little bit more right there. Damn, I did not know it was like that. Come on. It don't want me to get over there, does it? Because it's the way it is, like that. Come on. Damn. Don't make me talk good. Alright, so I got it that time. Now I've got to come over here. Go turn that steamer on, Wes. See if we can get that out of there. Now let's see. If that fella there looks supposed to be just right. Does that need to be sewed down to make it all, like put a top stitch on it? You know what I mean? Look at there where I folded it, like this way. When you fold vinyl that way, that foam right there in the bottom puts that wrinkle in there, like that. That crease when you fold it backwards. I'm thinking it'll come out, but whoa, Becky. Whenever it got down to this point right here, it was like, it just didn't look right, did it, Wes? I think what I'm gonna do is put a top stitch on it. See if I can't make it lay down more. The top stitch is whenever you take that bead and you lay it like this, and then you sew it next to it. I know I put any bobbin in there, but I think that's got enough to go across. we go. You take and fold that bottom one on the bottom, and you just put that top stitch on there, and it makes it lay down like that. Let me fold that up under. I don't want to put another wrinkle on it. If it don't lay down up under the bottom, the way that you're going, like the bottom part of the bead has all got to be laying this away, like that. It's all got to be laying that way because you're going to be sewing through here. Oh, that's a top stitch. That right there. This right here, y'all, looks like shit. See it? This right here. This right here ain't gonna work. This. Where's our other piece at, Weston? This is what you have to do. I want to show you how you got to do whenever you run into stuff like this. This is what you have to do. We're going to come right here. You see how I made that right there a little long on the bottom side? Where's my chalk at?
Got to be covered up.
Yeah, it is, don't it? All right, we're gonna try this one more time. Okay. Now we're back at square one. All right. This piece right here, Wes. This piece. I'm gonna have to recut this piece, I believe. I don't think it would be big enough if I cut it. You know what I mean? I don't think it would be big enough if I cut it all.
I think we went down, Joe.
Huh? See, it ain't wide enough that way. So y'all, if I was editing, if I edited this, y'all would never see this. But, you know, even anybody can have that day, you know. So we're gonna come right here. But you can fix it. So here we are. I'm gonna fix it. Hey, we all human. Anybody can make a mistake. But what you do is you go back and you fix that mistake. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Philip said that's why he loves this channel. The teaching is gold.
I'm telling you, man. You know, anybody can make a mistake. It don't matter what you're doing. It can happen. You know, so don't be disencouraged, you know, if it happens to you. I mean, just keep on going. All right, so there we go. We take this right here. And we might be back at square one, you know, but it ain't that bad. You know, you can ask, I don't hardly make a lot of mistakes, but it took me a little while to figure out that sewing machine the other day. And I was like, it stumped me for a little bit, you know, with my being somebody had messed with it, and I didn't realize it. That did stump me, didn't it, Wes? I'm over like, man, why is this thread keep breaking? Hey, it's always right in front of you. Just remember that.
Here's the blue ones right there.
I'm gonna get there. Your scissors is always. I think I got about 10 pair.
You probably got more than that. They all need to be sharpened.
Okay. There we go. A salesman come in here one day and he was telling me about the shop that did seats. And he said, I went and ate lunch one day, and this was back in the 60s. He said, I went and ate lunch one day, and when I come back, they had my car seats covered. But really what happened, what it was they was putting them clear covers on, them old timey clear covers, and it was like a slip cover. They did a lot of folding back then on stuff like that.
No, William does all the sharpening of the scissors. I hadn't attempted that yet.
Yeah, I got a scissor sharpening machine. This guy used to come by and sharpen my scissors. He charged me like $20 a pair, or $10. No, it might have been $10 a pair, but he left with my scissors, and he never come back. I don't know why that jerk took off my scissors. They wasn't even a good pair neither. He did like the Grinch. I'm gonna take it back to my shop, and I'm gonna fix them, and then I'm gonna bring it back to you like new. So when he never came back, I just ordered me a scissor sharpening machine. Here we are back to square one. No problem. This right here. Should I blame it on that needle, Wesley? Should I blame it on something? That mistake I made.
I don't know.
No, it wasn't a needle. That was all me.
It was all William Hall.
You got that right. We're back at it. Where's my piece at?
That one?
No, I don't need that one no more. That's the reminder of the mistake.
Hold on. It's covered up. I got it covered. There we go.
Put that over there. What I do need is that piece of material that I cut that edge off. That's it. Starting all back over.
You do that a lot by your eyesight because you've done it so many times. But is there a certain width that needs to be?
I'm trying to make it like a 1/2 inch on both sides. So whenever I fold this, I got about a 1/2 inch with after the bead. Like that. And this ruler right here is like
Almost.
it's
2
about
inches.
1.5 inches. So if you look, it's the line that I made is about 1.5 inches right here. So after you're done this, you can see a straight line. A carpenter was working on some stuff over there at my daughter's house, and I said, "That ain't." I was looking at it, and I said, "That ain't straight." They go, "Oh yeah, it's straight." I said, "I don't think that's straight." So he got a ruler and got to looking, and he said, "It ain't but like a 1/2 inch off." I said, "But really, it ain't straight." So I don't think it mattered. It was just hanging a light up. It just wasn't straight. And you can go back after you sew this bead like this, and if you need to trim it down, you can trim it down. We're going to take this right here. I don't want to make this mistake no more. So we're going to come right here. And I'm going to do some extra checking. First thing is I'm going to sew this right here. I don't want my stitches coming loose. Okay, so we're going to do all this checking now. I'm going to make 100% sure that this right here is going to fit in here. Just right. So Wes, that curves. That curves. Hand me my chalk. Halfway. Always find your center mark. This right here. Y'all know we cut these patterns off of that seat that's over there. We cut them off of that seat. I didn't ever check it 100% like this. Now we know that this pattern right here is gonna fit in there just like that. I gave myself a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna take and cut the speed right here down just a little bit. If it fits real good, I'm not gonna put no top stitch on it, or I'd leave this right here alone. I must be thinking it's gonna fit real good, huh? I'm just taking about an eighth of an inch off of this. Okay. Fingers crossed. Gonna make the same mistake twice. Maybe I need to change my title to "Don't make the same mistake twice." Alright, so here we are. Putting this piece back in here again for the second time. I'm thinking I had it in right. Here we go. Has everybody got their fingers crossed? Say, don't do it, don't do it. Notice, I am taking my time a little bit more. That's the way it should have looked to start with. But it didn't. It didn't look that way. So sometimes you got to start over and go back over it again. Check everything out. These patterns that we're using, you know, I did shorten it just a little bit, so I'm gonna have to make that one right there a little bit, just a little bit longer. This piece right here went across the top. It didn't have no pad. I think that this is it. It went across the top there. I left this a little bit longer where I could sew it and put a loop in it, like this. Most time we use we'll take a piece of wire and twist it.
You're out of bobbin. You're out of bobbin.
I'm out of bobbin again. I'm gonna use all these short ones up, and I'm gonna wind it. Bobbins. on these pieces like this, you don't have to start over. You can just go back and catch it again. Because it's just all it's going to be is just the anchor point. This piece right here, it'll have a top stitch on it. So I'm gonna take this piece, come back,
Got enough
fold
in
it
your
over.
bottom?
Huh?
You got enough in your bottom?
I think I do. You always want that top stitch to be real straight because it's actually seamed on the outside of the seat. A little loose batter on there. We will have to get all that off. Believe it or not, some steam sometimes will loosen that up. But whenever it's not dried on there for a day, you can take your finger and wipe it off. All right, Wesley, hand me them side pieces. And this this is called listing. For those that's not in the business, don't know. You can take a piece of vinyl and just fold it over and make your own listing. I couldn't order this no narrower. A lot of times we have some that's about that long, but this, it came in a 2-inch, and if you don't need 2 inches, you just take and cut it off like this. Or just fold it and sew it over, but if you can sew it long like that, I always just take and cut the excess off of it. All right, so then I got me a shorter piece, or should I say narrow piece. And then we get back to where we were. I know we probably lost a lot of people that was watching, so let me come right here. Plug that up. It's got us, don't it, Wes? Well, it had us. How's that?
Look it over there.
Okay. When we were last on here looking at this thing, I had taken and I'm gonna raise this up just a. I had taken it and was sewing the boxing on the side right here, like this. If you look at this seat right here, the owner didn't want. I mean, you know, you got to kind of do what they say. So you can tell it's rusty. That's some bad rust right there. I'm thinking that's a rodent hole right there. So we're gonna cover all that up. I mean, you can't rebuild what you don't want rebuilt. You know what I mean? So we're gonna put this cover on and see if it's gonna work. See if it's gonna fit. We did sew the boxing and stuff on there. This is the boxing, the edges. That's all the boxing that it had. And this top piece right here, we sewed it on while we was on video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to fold this right here. I don't know how good it's going. We might need to cut a hole in it. You see that little stem right there, Westy? It might need to go through. You know what I mean? I'm not 100% positive about that. Look at the old cover and see what it looks like. We might could just fold it down, but I'm thinking it looks like it might have went through. We'll leave it like that. You got your side on?
We'll get it started.
I'm way over here. I mean, it's like way over, kind of way off.
Like that, I'm starting.
Uh,
You need to do your way.
Looks like it does. All right, how far are you off? Okay. We'll just fold that under. That right there.
Now, my top ain't
What's your
rolled
top?
over because we need to flip it over where I can get behind it.
Man, that's tight. Damn, that's a rat bed, no shit. Ain't it? No, it ain't. Hey,
Well, the hole's over
it
here.
look like one. Let's just put some wire in it. We're just gonna cut a little split in here, just so you can put that wire in there.
I'm not gonna fold it.
Need some wire cutters.
I got them right here.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
We always take and put wire in there, unless the listing has got some unless the listing's got some that hard plastic in there. Cut me a piece about that long.
Long enough?
Yeah.
Side,
Yeah, I want to go up the side. Let's see if we can bring the.
if you get too close, you ain't gonna be able to do it.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna cut a little hole in this. where it's folded over. With this saw I got. All right. You go in all the way. Okay. Just put that on.
And we're back here with no room.
Yeah. Come right here, cut a little tiny hole in it. I had my knife in my hand.
Yeah.
Did it cut you bad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry about that. Go get you a bandage. I didn't mean to cut him. I just had the knife in my hand. Thinking we're gonna need to hook the bottom first. That way, if we hook the bottom first, it'll pull all this right here down. And it's got a pretty good ways to go, it looks like. Need some masking tape or a band-aid?
Gotta put glue first.
We thought we was gonna have to put stitches in Wesley's finger. Let's see if we can pull this down. I'm thinking it goes down to this rod right here. Is it tight enough?
I think by the time we pull it, because I'm pushing down on it pretty good.
Okay. Okay. Let's turn it over.
Oh, shit.
Nah. So we go like that. We're just going to push it down like this.
over like that, or you want to fold it more?
I'm gonna fold it like this right here, just like that. But we need to pull it down like that. Rub it. If you rub it like that, it will come. It will come on down to you. Winston says, "Stay away from me with your knife." That frame looks like it come out of the river.
You're unplugged.
I'm gonna plug it back in.
Somehow.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to somehow. I'm gonna take this wire out, and I'm just gonna roll this up under the edge like this, because I don't think I need that much. Come over here and rub it down, Wes. It's hard to pull that down on that cotton, so if he rubs it like this, it'll bring it to me. A little bit more. We got to go a ways. Okay. Keep rubbing it. As far as just pulling it, you can't hardly pull it. It just won't. You take and rub it. It will bring it on down. So now we're gonna take and turn it over and see just how hard we got to pull it to come to here. So we got to come all the way from here to here. So from here, ooh, that don't look like it wants to go. So we got to put a piece of wire in here because that's going to be pulled pretty tight. Wesley's over there getting the wire ready. Okay, that's good.
I handed you cutters while ago. I don't know.
If you hand it on to me, they ain't no telling where they at.
Get it at the end, up under the corner.
After I cut Wesley, I didn't keep my mind on that wire. All right, so we're gonna see just how hard it's got to be pulled. Doggone Wesley, you pulled that joker all the way to China, didn't you? Let's see where I'm going. Hey y'all, that'll be a part 2 on this right here tomorrow. We'll do the bottom. It's just kind of plain. It'll be a lot easier than this one right here.
Cut that, or you just gonna bend it under or leave it?
I'm just gonna leave it like that. All right. We got wire in this, so we're gonna take this part right here.
Slide back.
Yeah. We're just gonna take and start hooking it all the way around.
And the bolts, I hooked it in.
Yeah, the bolts could scratch it if they're laying on it. They didn't have no such thing as a bill sheet in these, did they? The new cars, this big part right here, did you see it's fat right here on this side? It's at the bottom. And then the thin part is at the top. On most of the new cars anyway.
Anything down there before I turn it?
Uh-uh. It was made so much simpler back then. Where in the world? Did I hook one down there? I believe it was hooked way over here. Because there was a hog ring right there. We'll pull this side right here down. There's a hole right there. Okay. All right, Wesley. What is that? Oh. Wesley's gonna get some Windex or something. He's gonna wipe it down and show you exactly what it looks like when it's cleaned up. I don't know what was on that table. Maybe a little bit of oil.
Could have been oil, dirt, rust.
Yeah. All right, that's what they call rolling pleat nowadays. But really, if you listen to the word roll and pleat, that's just line sewed in it, but they call it roll and pleat. To roll and pleat means to take this piece right here and roll it over and go on the back side and pleat it like that. And it'll be like all individual sections. rolling plate. You see some of the wrinkles and stuff in it, like where it was folded back? That will come out. And that's what it looks like when it's done. Whole lot different than that red cover over there. Stuff like that was on it. I don't know what that was. But once it's all done and we go back over this right here and steam it just a little bit, take them out where I folded it to try to get that V in there. Now the front seats, I have a V, but it's a pleated seat, so it's going to just stop. It'll be a V, but it's just going to go so far and then stop. And then the other seat will meet it, and that'll make the V. But on the back seats, that's the way it was. All right, everybody. Sorry my phone died before. I thought it had a lot of charge on it, but, you know, this video was kind of long. This is what we do in the shop. So, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And watching. I can't say I make any money off of YouTube, but at least if it helps one person, or if you're learning a little bit of something, then the video is worth it. You know, because I look on YouTube a lot of times and I try to look for things that helps me out in finding how to fix things. We had what was it, Wesley? A Mercedes. We done took all the seats out. I mean, no, we hadn't took all the seats out. We was going to take the seats out. We took the headliner out. Yeah, we took the headliner out, and we had to have the seats to where they would move up and back. And just one video, man, saved us. We took and soldered a piece on a board back together that showed us exactly how to do it. And I want to be that same person that saves one of y'all in trying to learn how to do this. So thanks everybody for watching. If you don't mind, give me a thumbs up. They say that helps the channel. And I'll try to learn how to edit the videos and make it a whole lot better to watch. So see y'all next time. Thanks.